Hello. I just want to start this episode off by acknowledging the significance of the date of its release. Um, Today is a very sad day in American history. It's September 11th. That being said, I just thought it was important that we begin this episode by acknowledging that. Um, Anyone who lost anyone that day, um, you are forever in my heart, as I know probably are in Jonah's too. Um, and it's important that we do this just because it's so significant. And I see a lot of people, especially our age, they joke about this day, and it really isn't like it's a really serious thing. And I just wanted to personally, take my stance here and say that I fully acknowledge the significance and the seriousness and the gravity of this day. So that being said, it was important that we did that. Jonah, I don't know if you have anything to say before we dive into the episode. Um, but yeah, that's just kind of where I'm coming from, and my heart is with all of you still grieving today because that's a never-ending thing. Mm, not at all. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. It's a bit of a different intro than you're used to seeing from us, but when we discussed it before we started recording, it was like we could not say something. Um, but that being said, I want this show is meant to be a outlet for people to kind of to get an hour out of their day to escape their lives and come into our world, and any stresses or anxieties or sadness that they feel in their life, even angers they feel in their life. I want it to be this to be a safe place for them to let go of that and just enjoy our show. Um, and whether we're talking about something thought provoking like we did last week, or mostly comedy. I just want this show to be that for people. So that being said, I think we can acknowledge the significance of today and move forward into the episode, um, keeping that with us, but um, letting go of that and allowing us to um, you know just strip that away for at least an hour of the day. So that being said, my name is Nick Valley from the Mythology, and this is Rev Rock Revolution. Welcome back. I'm so excited for today's episode. We're going to talk about some very important things. It's going to be a good one. I'm super excited. I know. I got some messages after the last episode. Um, People really enjoyed the direction that we shifted into. And we've spent a lot of these episodes acting like complete jackasses. Um, that's just the truth. And it's important for people to see that side of us. It's a very real thing, and you know, it's just kind of who we are. We enjoy joking around, whatever. We didn't even start this episode for like I want to say at least 45 minutes. We were just like goofing off, just talking about anything and everything, and we're like, oh shit, we should really press record. So like after last week, I think that was a turning point for the show. And Jonah, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like last week's episode was a turning point for the show where it was like, um, it's kind of like what it was supposed to be about too. And like what I wanted, at least personally, I wanted the show to be about. Um, and I think from here on in, it's going to be Rev Rock, and music industry focused. But don't worry, you're not going to lose that fun side of us. It's just who we are. It's what we do. Jonah, um, what are your thoughts on last week's episode? Anybody say anything to you? Curious how you felt about the whole experience. It's so fucking chaotic. Oh, yeah, definitely. This is who we are. It- oh my god. Just just a little bit. We're really excited. We have a guest on the show next week. We just confirmed, so that's super exciting. It's a really big guest. I got some Joe, and this is nothing against Xavier. You know I love him, and he was great on the show. Like he was awesome. I know he had a good time. I got some angry messages from my fans. It was like, "You fucking clickbaited me. You told me there was a big guest on the show, and it was Jonah's brother. Fuck you." Someone actually messaged me that. Um, so we're not clickbaiting you. We have a really awesome, big, and Xavier's awesome. I'm not taking that away from him. I thought he was great. I actually told that person to go fuck themselves. I did. I did. It was for us. It's important for us. All right. All right. I don't care if it wasn't big for you. Like, whatever. Just go back to whatever the hell you were doing. Like, go back to your other browser window, the private one where you do weird things. Um, but listen, um, that being that being said, there is a huge guest on the show next week, and when I say big, I mean like this is really somebody. We're kind of surprised. This person reached out to us and asked if they could be on the show, which is crazy. I don't know who the fuck would want to be on this. Um, but that was a little. I don't know about you, Jonah. That was my reaction. It was like you would be on this show. Yeah. Mhm. Yeah. What? We were going back and forth. Can you believe this? Uh, yeah, I know. It's kind of crazy. So yeah, stay tuned. It's going to be really awesome. I know I have fans of my music and my work who watch this show religiously and tell me every week their thoughts on the episodes. I don't know about you, Jonah, but there are people who really love this show. It's really cool to see. But yeah, I'm super excited and I know you guys are going to enjoy it. So stay tuned for that. But this episode, we're going to talk about some really cool things. We're going to talk about some Rev Rock things on our minds, what's going on, some things that are happening in Rev Rock currently, some of our favorite artists. It's going to be really cool. Just kind of our perspective on the whole thing. Because next week's going to be totally like interview based. I think we want to really make sure this episode is, um, and we're really just going to be having a conversation. I mean, when I say interview, this show isn't structured. So we're going to try our best to stay on topic today. Before we do that, Jonah, how was your week? Any exciting things going on in Jinx world, in Jonah world, in Xavier world, whatever you want to share? He'll probably be really mad at you if you share anything from his world. So to take that with a grain of salt. Noise. I thought you were gonna be like one of them was Slayer, dude. It's like yeah, Kerry King and I were throwing it back. Uh, Uh, dude, the Slayer fans are interesting. Um, I, you know what's funny? You're more involved in the thrash world. Like, you know me. You know I'm obsessed with Megadeth, everything Megadeth. But other than that, like the thrash world is really your thing. So it's an interesting culture. I'll say the least. Like I'm more of like the mainstream Megadeth and Metallica thrash guy, and like more Pantera. You're deep into that world. I feel like so. It's like a whole different subculture. Like if I'm like that like loser kid that like, and you're like bringing me to like a college frat party, and I'm just like so lost and confused when we start talking about that stuff. But back to you, Jonah. That was a really weird random side note. Ignore that. I'll admit that. Yeah, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. Okay. Speaking of Slayer and Kerry King and Megadeth, you know that he was once their like temporary guitar player. Really? Kerry King was in the band for about probably a month. And this is his quote, and I love Dave Mustaine, so I'm not knocking him here. But did I mention on the show? I know I told you, but did I mention on the show my Dave Mustaine story with James, my drummer? Okay. So this is gonna be my segue. This is just like episode 6. This episode's just gonna be all intro, and we're gonna go completely different purpose of our plan today. Um, so let me explain this. Terry King was once the guitar player Slayer was once in Megadeth. It was after he was in Slayer, I believe. So it was like in between. He like left, and then he like went back. So like I don't know. I feel like people like told him something. I don't remember exactly. I think fans at the show told him like, "What are you doing here? Like, go back to Slayer or whatever." Um, but he was in there. He was their only like rhythm guitar player, and Dave was playing lead. This is a really weird like thrash trivia thing. I had no idea about. And you can look it up. It's all real. And this is the Kerry King quote. He said, I quote, I don't know how anyone could be in a band with Dave Mustaine for more than 5 minutes. He actually said that. And I learned this from watching this and I watched this from being in watching this video on what rockers think of Dave Mustaine, and it was just people trashing him for like 25 minutes. Like anyone who's ever worked with him just says he's a complete tool, which isn't a great reputation to have. Um, and and Jonah, you know this. I have a story to as evidence to back this up. Okay, so James Norrell, the drummer on the Mythology records, he's on the first record and now the second album. Super excited about that. So some things are happening in there. We're way behind that. Wait, yeah, that's way ahead in the future. But so he's basically the um, okay, so as of this moment, the Mythology, besides as a solo, has never really done like live shows before. So I'll just call him the drummer of the Mythology. If you go in the Discord, he's labeled in the band section. Anyone who's contributed to the band will pretty much be there forever, whether or not they're currently actively participating in the band, because they always hold a place in my heart, and they always a piece of it. And James is a huge piece of it because he basically is the drummer of the Mythology. Um, and he is in this other band called Aviations. They're really good, really cool metal band, kind of like a harder, proggier metal band. And they opened for Megadeth on their last tour. And Jonah, you know where this is going. So my drummer wears a lot of shorts. James wears a lot of shorts, and he was in the catering hall one day wearing shorts, and Dave Mustaine goes over to aviation's the James's band's management, and he goes, "Hey, your drummer, he's not allowed to wear shorts in the catering hall anymore. All right." It's like for no reason. Like no reason at all. So Dave Mustaine being a Karen, real though. Uh, but this is real. So basically, my drummer was so ticked off, and he was like, "Why?" And Dave was just like, "They're too short." All right. He said, Dave said, and I quote, "It's getting too close to your private area." So he was like, "Fuck you." So my drummer James, he goes out and he goes to Target, and he could tell the story way better. He's such a personality. I would love to have him on this show. By the way, that would be so cool. Um, but he goes out to Target and he just finds like the shortest, and it was the greatest period too because it was June, so it was Pride Month. So it was just like gay everything, right? So he was able to find like the most sparkly rainbow pink short shorts on the planet, and he just stocked up and bought all of them. And then for the rest of the tour, he proceeded to wear them every single night in the catering hall. It is the most rock and roll thing you could do of all time. And I, when he told me that story, I was like, you know what? I know a lot of people, and I know so many people who would not have the balls or the guts to do something like that. And I admire him for that because that is the kind of rebellious spirit that we are missing. And I like just not being an asshole for no reason, but like sticking up for like what you like, sticking up for yourself. Like, it's so important. It's so I don't. It's not even about rock. It's just humanity, and we've lost that. But it's so important, and I'm so glad that he represents that. And it was. I just think that's the greatest story ever. Like, I mean, Jonah, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like I would have. If see, but the thing is, like, if that was like a mythology thing, and we were opening for Megadeth, I would have had the whole band do that. Like, that's just kind of person I am. Like, I stick up for my people, and I would have had the whole band do that. I think it would be the funniest shit on the planet. Can you imagine just like Dave Mustaine says about one person and then the whole band just walks in and like bedazzled short pink bedazzled pink short shorts that write juicy in diamonds on the butt. It's prime. It's prime. Me too. I would have, dude. It would have been so funny. I would have. Okay, but side note, that was a huge side note. Um, going back to your show. How were your shows, Joan? I made it about myself again. God, I'm such a dick. Let's keep going. It's okay. It's okay. All right. Uh. Oh God. Not us just talking about how hot it is at our gigs every single episode, Jonah. For real though. I mean, if you think about it, winter. Do you guys even have winters over there? What was it like? Really? Wow. I didn't even snow like I didn't even know snow was a thing like in California. That's crazy. No, I'm serious. Yeah. Damn, man. That's rough. That's rough. You experience the severe effects of global warming at to a at an extreme at a Nuno Betancourt level. See what I did there. Um, I love that. Um, today, um, I know we talked at the beginning of a serious event that happened on today of the uploading, but there's also another event. It's a member of Jinx's birthday today, which yeah, congratulations. That's so awesome. Wish him happy birthday for me. Thank you. I so awesome. I love just your whole dynamic. The whole image is so cool. Like when you go on Spotify and the three of you, and I love that it's become like a family thing. It's kind of cool. I'm not gonna lie. I dig it. I dig. I think people dig it. I think it's super cool. Just to say, it probably cuts a little too deep. Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome though. Mm, yeah, no, exactly. But there's pros and cons to everything. Like because you guys are so close, I think it contributes to your stage dynamics. It contributes to how you play together, and I think it contributes to you get to practice all the time, living together. Like it's a lot of things. And I think it's super cool. You know what's really like, and I also like just it's just a great thing. Birthdays are the best. My birthday is in 4 days. So it's exciting. I turned 18 years old. Jonah, what was it like when you turned 18? Like what was that like? What should I prepare myself for? Yeah. Yeah. Sure. Yeah. Yeah, I got you. Yeah. You'd be like, I've been showing more despite every single episode of this show so far. Ignore this. This is not evidence. This is I call mistrial. It's so funny. No, but I understand what you're saying. I think that happened with me with 17. When I turned 17, I didn't feel any different. And then over the last year, it was like a total shift for me. So I think it'll probably be the same thing. Every year it's like that for me. And I look back at myself and I look back at old videos or pictures or whatever of myself. And it's just a trip. Like, how the hell did I get here? How did that used to be me? Like, okay, so people probably know about me, or they might not know about me. Um, I'm an actor as well. I've been actively auditioning for things for years. I've done a lot of off-Broadway work. It's inspired a lot of my stuff in the mythology. That's why it's so theatrical, all the themes and concepts. Um, and I saw this old clip or this old like tape that I'd self-taped that I did for it was so bad. I was like, no wonder they didn't. I was like, no wonder they didn't fucking hire me. This is awful. No, I'm no cat man. I'm man enough to admit like when I'm wrong, and that was some next level shit. Like it was. I deleted it from my iCloud. I never wanted to experience that again. No, 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 no. I burned that shit. No one's watching that. But yeah, going back to that, I think it's really interesting to see. It's this is a huge week for me. I'm kind of tripping out because last Friday, "Victimize," my third single, just came out. And I've been waiting for this song to come out forever because I'm super proud of it. I think it's the most important thing I've ever made. Um, I really love the way the lyric video and the visualizer came out for this one too. So if you guys haven't seen that, go check it out. They're really good. Props to the guys on Fiverr I hired to do them. They're awesome. They've done the last two. This is their third one, and I think they know me and they understand what I'm going for at this point. Everything's kind of accumulated to this moment. This is the song that I know is the song. I'm ready to push this thing until I'm just like, what was it? Kirk Hammett said in his interview with Rick Beato that just came out, something like, we just shoved it down people's throats until it's like, you will like this. This is that song for me that I stand by and I believe in, and I am ready to promote like crazy. It's going to be super fun. Anyone who's watching this show is obviously a super fan and loves the song, and they've known the song probably because they've been a part of my community and they've gotten to hear it way before. Like this song, we've been waiting a year and a half for this thing to come out, and I'm ecstatic. That's true. That is true. I think it was our first. You, actually, no, it was our second DM. I think I reached out to you and I was like, "Yo, man, like you're insane. Like guitar, like how do you play like that?" And you're like, "Oh, thanks, man." And then you had sent me the DM back on that video, and then now we're best friends for life. No, you're stuck with me. uh, for real, man. Though, honestly, like, and I think I talked about this on the show. I don't last week, but like, you've become like a brother to me. And so especially this time of year, every year I get older and I think about what I'm grateful for and like going into the year and like what I want to accomplish and what I already have in my life. I just want to acknowledge and thank you for being there, being a brother and best friend for me. And I look forward to many, many, many years to come of our shenanigans and projects together. It's gonna be so. We have so much stuff planned, and we got so much stuff going on too. We're not just planning; we're being about it. So which I think is important. You know, what was it that bad American Idol guy said in his bad audition? Something like, "Don't wing it, just bring it." So yeah, I'm gonna quote that, and quoting that exactly. So I'm quoting that. I'm ready to go into today's episode, 30 minutes in. Um, yeah, it's been a really awesome week. My birthday, my favorite song of mine came out. And yeah, my Discord community's been popping off lately. That's been really awesome. So, and if you're watching this show, you're probably from there, or you're from Jonah's community, or wherever, or you're Jonah's mother. That's an inside joke. And yeah, so super cool. And if you are new, like he said, join our fucking servers. It's a blast, man. You can access them right there, link in bio. It's all there. This is a fun time, man. And Jonah's been in mind. He just like Jonah has to leave after my people are like next level, like their trip, man. Like I've never met anyone like these people before. And it's a decent mix of people. Like every day it's like different people in there like saying, you know what I mean? It's like a good mix of people. There's a lot. I think it's like what is there currently at the moment? There's like 200 people or something in there, and it just varies like who's talking in there from day to day. Um, which is nuts, and that's how they've gotten my music to thousands of streams. I'm not joking here. 50 people have gotten me 20,000 streams on all my songs in total. It's like crazy. They are such awesome, dedicated super fans. And I couldn't ask for more. They're the best, and I love you guys very much. And it's another thing I'm grateful for going into the year, and I'm excited to grow. That being said, we talked about your show, some exciting stuff. My Jinx shirt hasn't arrived yet, or I'd be wearing it. I don't know what the fuck happened. We need to sort this out. Yeah, right now in the episode, just you like this episode is going to be Jonah having a screenshot of Jonah having a conversation with FedEx, just like back and forth with customer support. That would be really funny. So you are becoming a thrash band, Jonah. That was pretty badass how you just said that. Um, so yeah, going into today, I think I want to make sure that we touch on some things. And let us know if we're boring you, honestly. So if you miss like us being fucking morons, just let us know. But I got some DMs last episode that people were like, "Yo, I really love how like more casual and laid back and like not like, you know, I don't know, like overbearing it was." And I agree. I think it was important for us to do that. And I think moving on, we're going to be like a mix of that, and I think that's just going to be our show. So that being said, Jonah, um, we've touched on this a little bit before, but I've never really gotten your perspective on, I guess, what Rev Rock means to you, um, how you kind of define it in your own terms, how you think about it. Um, I would love to hear this because I think it's an important discussion to have because I think many of our viewers are also a little bit, they know what it's about and they know what we're trying to do with it, obviously. But why is it significant and why now? And, you know, all the good things. Yeah. I wish that was it. I wish that was it. It's kind of desolate. It's kind of there's just a select few in each genre. Like it hasn't been this like yeah. There used to be thriving like scenes in like different genres. Oh. Hmm. Hmm. And then we got to the point where like things like WAP came out. That's one of I just want to say I'm going to say something that I think our viewers are going to agree but is going to be very controversial in pop media. I would even release this as a small clip as one of our teasers online because I stand by this statement and I want to get people I'd love to be controversial on this take. And you could tell me if you disagree. I think WAP is one of the worst excuses of music and a song I've ever heard in my entire life. It is one of the worst things I've ever created in the history of music. That's not even music. I don't even know what you call that. It is it is deplorable. Uh so bad. Dude, you ever see that video where they like compared the same year that WAP was number one, that Baby It's Cold Outside was canceled? And this guy, yeah, and this guy was comparing and contrasting the lyrics back and forth. And I was like, this is so much worse than the thing you're trying to get rid of. That's another thing. Can I just stand on this? I don't know what your opinion is on this, but I absolutely hate, hate cancel culture. Okay. It's the worst. Yes, I agree. You know what? Dude, the things they like, and I agree with Bill Burr here. It is one of the dumbest things on the planet. I'm not shy about my views on the world and the country or whatever. Oh my God. I just saw it out of the corner of my eye. Can I just say this real quick? I forgot that we've been 35 minutes. I forgot my dog was on my lap. I forgot my dog was here. So this is Jay. This is my dog. This was our big special guest, Jonah. This is my dog. All right, so that's enough for the viewers. I will only give them some. They don't. This world doesn't deserve her. Um, but like I was saying, I'm not shy on my viewpoints here. And I mean, at any point, Jonah, we could have a discussion about this, and it'll become a totally different thing. It's ironically doing the opposite of what it's trying to accomplish. And I'm all about inclusivity. It's my entire message. Everything in my brand is about community, togetherness, acceptance. Anyone can be who they are, but it doesn't mean that you make everybody have to be a certain way in order to fit in. You're doing the opposite of what saying you're trying to accomplish. So that being said, this whole cancel culture thing is it's just in the beginning, the people that they were getting rid of were deplorable. Like the whole Bill Cosby thing, the Harvey Weinstein thing, like lock those people up. Those people are sick. There's something seriously wrong with them. Those people need to be taken care of and getting rid of, and there's something wrong with them. But people aren't even allowed to make a mistake anymore. People aren't allowed to apologize for something they said 30 years ago, 40 years ago. They're trying to cancel dead people, Jonah. They're like, can you believe what John Wayne said in Playboy magazine in 1971? First off, dude is dead. Magazine no longer exists. And this was 50 fucking years ago. How? How? It's crazy. That's crazy to me. God. It's like, shut up. I don't care. I don't care. Yeah. You know, it's just frustrating because like I don't know when, and like I've said before, and I'll restate it again. I'm not in. I like I. I'm just gonna go right out and say it. I'm not a left. I'm not a righter. I'm a very dead smack middle. So you need to understand where I'm coming from when I say this. I'm not promoting any sort of one. And Jonah, you know exactly what I'm trying to say. I think the viewers know exactly what I'm trying to say. I'm not promoting a certain side. When I say that I'm against the other, I hate both sides, and I will talk about that for all day. But the point that I'm trying to make with this, and going back to Rev Rock, is I think, and we were talking about WAP and how like that was but it's that's just proof in and of itself that if you want to look at what the current state of humanity and what we're trying to promote as a culture, and you think it's a positive thing, just read the lyrics of that song. Read the lyrics, and you will experience what it is that we're trying to. What I was just trying to say with the whole cancel culture and how epically fucking ridiculous it is. And just it's there's no one has a common sense anymore. Do we don't have the common sense to be like, this is not a good thing? This is the number one song, which means it's accessible to everyone in the world, which means children will read lyrics like spit in my mouth, shove it down. Like, that's okay? That's okay? Like, I don't understand. And then if people wanted to make the argument about rock music, about how suggestive and sexual it was, I agree. I will hand you that, and I will give that to you. But that's not suggestive territory. We're in a totally other. Like, we're just like flat out like the most vulgar, disgusting things I've ever seen in my entire life. Just being said, not suggested, just being said. I and that's a big part of Rev Rock is I think, and I don't know, you can, and you were, I want you to talk about this because I talk a lot, obviously. And I feel starting to feel very campaigny, which I don't want to get into. And I've talked to you this before. I don't want to be that way. Um, but, and so this is my prompt, and you talking about what Rev Rock is and all that sort of stuff. I think you are. Um, but basically, what it is I'm trying to get at is I think Rev Rock is extremely against that just that entire culture. I think we are all about real. If you want to be like you say, use the word woke, real, like what real wokeism is. It's like acknowledging our differences, but being a community and that coming first, and our commonalities uniting us, and everybody has a place to be who they are, say what they want, believe what they believe, and everyone can have their own set of beliefs and values. But none of that matters because we're all together towards a common goal. And I think that's what real community and that's what real positive change looks like, at least in my eyes. And I think Rev Rock is all about and even killing that part of old rock and roll culture, the drugs and sex and especially like that hip hop took. You want to, okay, I'm not even going to say what I was about to say. I'll tell Jonah off camera. Um, but like hip hop, I'll say this. I'll say it this way: that hip hop adopted that philosophy and then 10x'd it, the drugs and sex thing. And it's been a very negative, destructive thing to our culture. And I think Rev Rock is all about going back to what it's about, which is about the togetherness that comes from the music and the importance of what that means to all of us. So, yeah, in a way, it is revolutionizing our genre and not just what's going on right now, but rock itself because it is important. It does need an update. It doesn't need a face paint. And like I said, I'm not about real change. I'm not against real. I'm all about positive real change happening, and that is the part of revolutionize that happens in Rev, and then obviously revitalizes the music part of it. So yeah, that being said, I'm just gonna shut up now, and for the remainder of the episode, I just want you to like talk freely about. I think I've said enough. I think I've made enough points for multiple episodes. Jonah, I would love to hear just all your thoughts on that, and then beyond that, just your perspective. Yeah. Yeah, totally, man. And anyone who's been in my Discord community will know there have been moments, there have been people in there who have tried to troll, tear people down, write very divisive, negative things, mess with people's mental state. And I don't have it. I kick those people out. I'm the kind of person that I am kind and inclusive and welcoming of everybody. But if you mess with me or especially the people that I love, I will end you. I will tear you apart, and there will be nothing left. There will be no crumbs left of you. I'm sorry. That's just the kind of person I am. I'm very passionate about that. Um, and that's just what I believe in, and I can't go beyond that. So that being said, now we know what's about and what it is like we stand for. Um, and kind of also why it's important. I guess kind of like what you see so far in Rev Rock and like I guess like we've talked about like The Warning or like Mammoth or like those kind of artists. And I think they're I don't you can tell me if I'm wrong, but I definitely think that they are representing that perfectly. At least from my perspective. Mm, no, no. Yeah. Mm. Mammoth 2 is golden. Yes. Everyone should go stream that right now. I'm all about promoting Rev Rock. Great fucking album. Go listen to it. What were we gonna say? It's so annoying. It's so annoying. Yeah, no, I do too. But it's like you have to imagine being him for 5 seconds. No one wants to live in the shadow of their parent their entire life. Mhm. Yeah, he's Wolfie. Yeah, I got you. Yeah. Oh yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think we're bringing back the musical influences, and we are uh completely revolutionizing the culture, and it's important. It's like rock's needed a totally serious rebranding for a long time because I think when people think of rock music, I think they think of the like um I think they just think of the no goods and like the bad boys and like you know what I mean? Just like the total like people that like are a nuisance to society and like don't contribute anything and like just like are saying like fuck you to the world and like I think it's given us a real it used to be like what made us edgy and cool and now I think it's just held us back from any getting anywhere especially because we do and I acknowledge I think it's going to be really hard to revert a lot of these I think negative mindsets that have been instilled in people in a way. Some of it's positive, some of it's really negative. But that wokeism that I was talking about. And I think that's not really going to go away. But what is important is in the culture that we live in today is that that whole rock and roll thing is not cool. It's actually, considered like not a good thing at all. Um, and I agree. Yeah, and I agree that a lot of those things are toxic. So I think it's important that we bring that aspect of it in because from what I've seen, just all these people like Aaron Jones, um, Wolfgang, um, the girls in the warning, like all these people, um, I think this is just how we are. Like we're positive people who are about the music and about the community, and the relationship we have with our fans. It's not about all the other exterior bullshit that doesn't matter that used to be good for oh my god my dog is okay that is about it's not about any of that stuff anymore. And it shouldn't be, you know, like the music is what matters and what's important. And we've completely lost touch of that. And hip hop and pop have really stolen that from our community and have done that rebranding thing that we're talking about. And it's worked really well for them. So why can't we just do the same thing? You know, our music deserves a place in the consciousness of society. You know what I mean? It's like there's a space for country and trap and pop, and I don't care what you listen to, but there should be a space and a place for rock music. And the reason it doesn't exist anymore is because we are so it's not stuck. It's not like we're trapped in that old mindset. And that's what's holding us back. And I think moving forward, that culture shift needs to happen, or we're just going to go extinct. No matter how good the music is or how good the people are who are doing it, it doesn't matter if we're not presenting ourselves with this new rebranded logo and image, and it doesn't matter. It's going to be pointless. So, I mean, Jonah, honestly, if you have anything that you like, but I think you do agree with me on all of this stuff. Like, I think you would tell me if there was anything that you were like, whoa, I don't know about that. You would say it. Um, but yeah, it frustrates me because I know in people see this, and the people that experience this and learn about it and are about it are totally in it. What we are working at is showcasing this on a higher global scale, and I think that's going to be the key. It's not about what we're doing, it's about how we're getting it out there. And it starts with things like the music that we're releasing, the content that we are putting out on social media. We have to, but it starts with that. And it starts with like this and having discussions like this. And yeah, I mean, I feel like I'm just like repeating myself, but it's really important that people see this. And that's the last piece of it. Everyone sees this, and there's going to be a shift. I know that. I believe that. I know it in my mind, and I see that happening. When we have that platform, it's going to be crazy, and I'm super excited for that. And I think we're getting there soon. So, yeah, I'm just super excited about everything that's to come. And every day, more and more people are getting involved in our world and what we're all about and are into it. So, yeah, that being said, we're kind of getting towards the end of the episode. We're going to have our interview next week. Super exciting about that. Um, that being said, Jonah, any last things you kind of want to leave us off with? Yes. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. It's important that you do, because the longer we stay silent, just the further down this path and this road that we go on, and it's not a good thing. It's frankly, and I will say this, like Jonah, it's frankly disturbing to me how many people are just so not awake and aware to it. You know what I mean? Like it's crazy to me how many people are sleeping on this and like don't realize the extent that this goes to. You know what I mean? Because yeah. Mm, that yeah. Yes. The irony is that it's the toxic thing. Like it's crazy how hypocritical the society we live in right now is. And when we started this podcast, I just want to say as a side note, I did not think we were going to get this deep psychologically and philosophically. But oh my god, my dog really wants to be in this episode. Um, but you know, uh, but on a serious level, like I didn't know we were gonna go in this direction, but now that we have, there's no going back. And I don't know how you feel, but like it's so vital to what we're doing that these discussions are happening. And I can't wait to have more of them. I think it's going to be interesting, like the guests that we have, like next week and moving forward, like having these discussions with them and getting their own viewpoint because everybody has a different perspective on it, obviously, right? Um, but I think it's going to be so cool to see how this whole thing unfolds, and then watching this back, you'd be able to document it as that point in the timeline from before everything was shifting. Exactly. So it's going to be cool to like be able to look at back at this and document it and see it and you know. But until then, we're working at this every single day and we are going nothing is going to stop us. People are going to see us. They're going to know what we're about and they're going to become a part of it because they can't not. Um it's just that important. Um so yeah, until that day, we're not going to stop. And that being said, I think that's a great way to leave us off this week and get us ready into, I think, is going to be our most exciting episode yet next week. Legit. So please be ready for that. We are so hype. It's so excited. But until then, I am Nick Valley from The Mythology. And this is Rev Rock Revolution. Jonah, this has been great. I really love the direction we're going with the show, honestly. Awesome. It really does. And you guys, the people, are enjoying it. So we're going to keep it up. Until next time, we'll see you soon. Peace out. Keep on rocking. Rev Rock forever. See ya.